Hello and welcome to Drones for the Win. Drones for the Win is a joint venture between For the Win Robotics and PA Rural Robotics, presented to you by Nicole Shoemaker, Tim Heffernan, and Daniel Mehay. My name is Nicole Shoemaker, and for more than 20 years, I was a regular classroom teacher. I taught mostly 6th grade math and science, but a few years ago, I took a bit of a career leap and accepted a position as a STEM special area teacher in the Donegal School District. This new position has allowed me the opportunity not just to teach STEM to students in grades 3 through 6, but also to help to develop my district's STEM curriculum. Because of this, I'm always on the lookout for new programs and new tools that will engage my students, excite my students, and teach them the STEM skills that will help them in their educational careers and in their lives. This past summer, I was one of the lucky teachers who had the opportunity to participate in the Drones for the Win professional development.
Hi everyone, I'm Tim Heffernan. I'd like to take a moment to thank each of you for taking the time to join us today as we share this unique project that Nicole and Dan and I participated in this summer. A little bit about myself. I've been an educator in Northwest Pennsylvania for 23 years. I started off as a social studies teacher, became a gifted support teacher, and now serve as a STEM instructor in grades 9 through 12. While I was the gifted support teacher, my classroom focused on project-based learning, and over a period of time, I saw my students continually gravitating toward STEM-related projects, and that led me to taking a deeper dive myself. In 2018, I founded the Pennsylvania Rural Robotics Initiative, and that's how we ended up on the path we are today. So a bit more about PA Rural Robotics. PA Rural Robotics is an educational nonprofit, and our mission is to create sustainable, world-class STEM opportunities to prepare our students for 21st century careers. Those opportunities focus primarily on robotics, both aerial and ground robots, computer science and programming, and artificial intelligence. Since 2018, we've expanded our K-12 footprint from a 5-county area in Northwest Pennsylvania to 8 counties, and we've embraced our STEM ecosystem and partners to try to look for additional unique opportunities for our students. So what's changed in the last 2 years? We've gone from 11 districts in 5 counties to 25 districts in 8 counties, serving approximately 25 school districts with 50 buildings, and we're serving somewhere over 33,000 students within those buildings, which is exciting when you just think about the potential impact that we can have with the number of kids that will engage. And really that took a huge swing with COVID-19. We followed the leads from our friends at the Department of Education and started to look for ways not to just support us in our typical programming, but look at ways where programming and partnerships that we had created and were about to create could support teachers and students during COVID-19. And what came out of that was not just that 8-county footprint, but we found out that the resources that we're creating weren't just beneficial to, and we knew this, not just the kids in our area, but it was something that we could have impact on students statewide. So with our summer pilot and some of the upcoming opportunities that we know are coming out of it, we're really excited just to see what that grand impact can look like.
Hello everyone, my name is Daniel Mehay. I am one of the co-founders of For the Win Robotics. I've been in STEM education for over 7 years. For the Win Robotics is Parrot Drone's exclusive education partner, and I guess you can consider myself the creator of For the Win Robotics, along with the REC Foundation's Rad Drone competition. We're going to get into a few things. I want to highlight a little bit about our company and who we are. We're a team passionate about education technology and the learning experience. Our goal is to awaken students' interest in STEM through hardware and innovative hands-on curriculum. Although we believe drone technology has the power to inspire the next generation of STEM leaders, we are driven to deliver one simple thing, which is a fun learning experience. Right now, we're going to play a video that highlights how our online e-learning program works, the one that we've been speaking about today. Let's go ahead and press play.
Science, technology, engineering, and mathematics jobs are in high demand and continue to be among the fastest growing fields. But despite jobs in these industries generally paying higher wages, there simply aren't enough STEM educated workers to take these jobs. Solving the problem starts with early learning. Educators know STEM is important, but teachers face the challenges of limited resources and competing for students' attention. What if there was an innovative, engaging STEM experience for young students? A hands-on experience that awakens students' interest in technology and inspires them. Our mission is to enhance the STEM teaching and learning experience, and our first interactive learning kit achieves this through the exploration of drones. From flight theory and design to coding, our curriculum and activities help students gain a well-rounded perspective through hands-on learning, critical thinking, and problem solving. Here's how it works. First, we help transfer the necessary knowledge and skills to the teacher through online sessions, learning step-by-step our curriculum with coaching from our team members. From teaching in the classroom to teaching remotely. We're here for you every step of the way. From opening a box of parts to building a fully functioning drone, in our first lesson, students assemble and learn a ground-up understanding of the elements that make up a drone, setting the stage for the next lesson. Students learn the fundamentals of flight: weight, thrust, lift, and drag, flight controls, and flight safety. Students study how the physical parts of the drone work, develop an understanding of the basic science behind flight, and also learn piloting skills. Our last lesson, Code, teaches basic programming and coding skills, arguably the most exciting, as students then get to test their new programming skills on their drones. For the Win is proud to have worked with over 1,000 schools across the country. We are a team passionate about education, technology, and the learning experience. Together, we can awaken students' interest in STEM through drone technology and inspire the next generation of leaders. Reach out to get started.
All right. Well, I want to take a moment to highlight the work that we did with Tim and some of the feedback that we had from PA Rural with the 40 participants that we had over the summer. These are very exciting numbers for us. We hope they kind of get you a little bit inspired as well. If you look at the overall enjoyment of the drones for the Win professional development, we have a score of 9.4. In addition to the quality of the drones for the Win professional development, 9.3. And then would you recommend this professional development to a colleague? 92%. We don't know what happened to the other 8%. Maybe they didn't show up. But we're very proud of these numbers, especially for a program that took place over the summer, which ultimately led to one of the things we're the most proud of during this pilot program is the fact that we had a 96% participation percentage from all the students in the program. Something we're very proud of. We hope we can continue this trend. We know these numbers are hard to achieve, but thankfully we could do it with the good teachers in Pennsylvania. Now, if we want to take a moment and look to the future of the program, some things we have coming down the pipeline after this initial touch point with the Parrot Mambo. We have agriculture programs coming in where we want to get students FAA certified, so any student above the age of 16 can get their drone certification, and therefore then go in and use those drones with the local community to increase agriculture production. And then on top of all that, we want to continue our trend of coding, and we're going to be implementing, rather than a block coding program where you drop and drag, we are developing a program where you physically type in Python and JavaScript for students. All right, I'm going to turn it over to everyone else. Thank you for having me, and I hope everyone has a great day.
So as we move forward in this project, we had some thoughts as far as what our needs and our objectives were going to be to meet the needs of our teachers and our students. We also knew what Dan and the team already had in the works For the Win. And to be brutally honest, I don't think we could have designed or created a platform that fit our needs any better. One of the areas right out of the gate that we knew would be super important is the need to engage these students. And we know from the numbers that we saw statewide and nationally, actually, as for students attending online coursework, they were poor and it was a struggle. And we had teachers that were doing this for the first time and students that were going at it from the first time. And we needed to find that platform that could let everyone relax, pull them in, and engage. There was another piece with this. A lot of our students had been out on an island, especially the kids that didn't have internet connectivity, and I'll talk about that in a second. We really tried to address that social and emotional piece. Going clear down to the last bullet here, we wanted to create a community, and that community wasn't just for our students and pulling them into something to where they could feel part of it, because they lost that when they lost their access to schools and their friends and teachers every day, but also that community for a teacher. I guess we'll touch on that here in just a minute. The next area we looked at besides engagement was flexibility. We needed something that didn't just fill a niche. We needed something that could be used across grade levels and skill levels. And then two words that continually come out in what we do, and definitely we're at the forefront of the planning and thought processes going into this, is it needs to be accessible and it needs to be equitable. It needs to be an opportunity for all kids to get the same opportunities to learn as close as we can to what everyone else is getting. That leads into the second piece of the flexibility. We had kids learning, synchronous or asynchronous learning was an issue. We had students that were in different locations than their teachers at some times, and other times they weren't. And again, this curriculum and this program wasn't designed for COVID, but man, does it fits the uncertainties that we've got in education right now, with kids being in and out of buildings, and that sometimes continually changing of face to face and not face to face, and again that lack of connectivity. I mean, in our region, we know that the numbers range anywhere from 20 to 30 or sometimes higher percent of kids that don't have connectivity to the internet. So we needed to look for solutions that would be things that we could get into kids' hands that weren't just paper and packets, things that would engage them and were flexible enough to make it happen. One of the interesting projects that have come out of the original summer pilot that we're talking about now, we're about to launch a second pilot where we're going to be using Raspberry Pis to deliver content. So essentially, a student that doesn't have access to the internet isn't going to try to go at this project or the build fly code, on some other route. They're going to have it the same way, where the Raspberry Pi is going to deliver the content to them. So something we're really excited to move forward on and see where that goes. Another area that we focused on with this, and the curriculum itself guides it, but we also think that there's another level that we're going to go to long term, is the opportunity to explore STEM careers and that real life application. Give these kids those authentic learning opportunities where what they're learning in school means something to them outside of school. And this project has definitely fit that bill. Our next area was, coming out of the spring and knowing the uncertainties, the stress, the hard work that the teachers and students both put in getting through that period of time. We knew that this had to be an easy lift for our teachers and enjoyable for the students and the teachers alike, because they both needed it, and quite honestly, the times demand it. So we definitely worked really hard, and Dan's team did an amazing job in creating the content in a way that the teachers, there's flexibility with them in how they teach it, but there are also resources in place to help them to not feel overwhelmed or burdened. And as Nicole and I have both said, we both haven't taken traditional tracks to become STEM teachers. So sometimes when, even the best at what they do, if you're wandering into something that's new or uncomfortable, it can be a little intimidating. And I think what we've put together for this project and this programming has really, really taken a lot of that away. And I guess I mentioned it a little bit earlier, but I want to hit on it one more time. To build on what I just said, We really wanted to build that sense of community. We wanted to build that sense of some community for kids, so kids could feel that connectivity that in a lot of ways that they'd lost. And we want to build that sense of community for the teachers, because we feel like that the content itself is exceptional, it's engaging, it's everything it needs to be. And if we can build that community around it where the teachers feel like they're supported from, whether it's the team at For the Win Robotics, or on a state level, if there's anything that PA Robotics can do to support them, or if it's that teacher that's a couple miles away that's working on the same content, we just feel like that community building is powerful. It's needed, and we're really excited about where we are right now with it. So what I'd like to leave you with is a quick rundown of what the camp entailed, without giving too much detail to steal from either of my co-presenters. But we ended up with a 3-day virtual professional development where students and teachers both followed the same path, learning to build, fly, and code a Paramambo drone. I'm not sure if anyone else will mention it throughout the presentation, but in case they don't, really cool. The kids got to keep their drones. Thank you For the Win Robotics. So the learning didn't just stop at the end of their camp. All of the materials were provided to both the teachers and the students. Everything was mailed directly to the teachers. The instructional materials were all shared digitally. And again, PA Rural just served as that coordinator and helped to be that liaison between For the Win Robotics and our teachers. I mentioned briefly about accessibility and equity. We ran this statewide. The rural had nothing to do with it. We took 40 fantastic teachers and rolled it out to 100 kids, regardless of setting. So that was really exciting for us to meet those new teachers and students and follow up on that piece. So without further ado, I really want to turn this back over to Nicole so she can tell you the best part about this project, and that's the experience she had with the kids.
After finishing the professional development this summer, some teachers were able to run summer camps with students. 20 teachers ran camps with 100 student participants all across Pennsylvania. Some camps were run in a virtual model, some in person, and some hybrid. Camps met for 4 or more meetings, and students were able to build, fly, and code their drones. Schedules were flexible, and all instructional materials were provided. Here you can see some of the instructional materials that were provided with Build Lesson 1. You can see that students and teachers are provided with all of the information they need for a successful program. You've got vocabulary, diagrams, directions, all provided for you. Here you can see a rough overview of a sample camp schedule. Day 1 would consist of a program introduction and part of the build process. Day 2 would finish the build and then begin the fly portion of the program, including a discussion of safety involved when flying a drone and the concepts involved in flight. Day 3 is a continuation of fly with the rest of the discussion of the science of flight, as well as an introduction to the flight controls in the app. A discussion of a pre-flight safety check is a necessity on day 3, and we started our first Earn Your Props activities. Day 4 is the coding portion of the program, where we use Workbench, and there are a few more Earn Your Props activities. Earn Your Props are student and instructor check-ins. So from the build portion, you can see this Earn Your Props checks to see if students can correctly name or identify the parts of their drone. This Earn Your Props activity checks on students' understanding of the forces of flight. When I first signed up for the Drones for the Win professional development, I wasn't entirely confident in my own ability to build a drone. These are pictures, though, from my build day, and you can see that I was able to assemble my drone with little difficulty. The directions and the diagrams and the assistance provided by For the Win Robotics and PA Rural Robotics were essential. For the Win Robotics has also included a time lapse of the build process so that you can see what the experience of building a drone would look like. I ran my camp in a hybrid model. I really thought it was beneficial to do the build portion of the program together so that I could provide support in person as needed. My group included incoming 5th graders all the way up through a college freshman. My youngest participants required a little extra assistance during the build portion and also during some of the coding activities. But they were all able to be successful building, they were able to fly, and they were able to code their drones, and they were very proud of their accomplishments. Each participant received a certificate of congratulations at the end of their camp. For more information or with questions about Drones for the Win, please feel free to contact one of the presenters. Thank you.